Hi YouTube, this is James from British Operative with you. What I wanted to show you today was my recent purchase of my RAM mount to go on my Kawasaki Concours 14. Like many of you guys, you know, when you're riding you want to either use your navigation or to listen to some tunes, either on Bluetooth or on your helmet, etc. So I wanted a way to actually put my new iPhone 6 Plus on my bike. I looked at many different ways to do this. There's about 200 different options, of course, but one thing I was struggling with is on the Concours there's not much real estate left on the actual handlebars. If you have a look at the bike itself, there really isn't much space to put any sort of standard clips. So I went around, looked around, and I found this particular mount, which goes inside the yoke on top of the bike, and I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, this is the one I'm going to fit. It arrived this morning. This is kind of like a rubbery spigot, and you need to cut this to length. So basically what you do is you pop this into the hole in the yoke and measure it to size. It's about I think you leave about 1/8 of an inch above sticking out. That's about 4 millimeters. Cut it off and you're left with a piece about this size. So that is what we're going to put inside the yoke. So here it is on the actual bike. This is the hole that we're going to put the spigot into. So like I said, you just basically pop that in there, make it nice and tight, measure it off about 1/8 of an inch. It's about 3 millimeters, and then you cut it to length, and you're then left with your piece like this, which is going to go inside there. As you can see, there's actually very little real estate on the handlebars here to put a mount. Say for example here, I've ordered another one which will be coming soon, which actually replaces one of this hex bolt here, so it'll give me another RAM ball sitting up here as well. But today we're going to be concentrating on the one that fits in here. Okay, we're back at the workbench. So what we need now is the nuts and bolts and washers. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the piece that I measured to size. Then I want the big flat washer and the nut pocket washer. This is where the nut sits inside, and I don't know if you can see there yeah, you can just see it. It has the cutout so the nut will tighten and won't slip inside. So I'm going to cut this to size and just trim off the flashing on this side. Nice and smooth. Place the nut with it's a locking nut, so you want that one in there like that. And it's got some gnarly pieces on here. It's like some grooves. So you can just going to focus on that. Yeah, you can see that's got some notches and grooves, so that's obviously going to bite into the rubberized spigot. And then we want the big washer and threading the bolt through the actual mount itself. So that will all go in like that. So I'm looking to just sort of hand tighten that, and this is what you're left with. So you've got the mount at the top, the bolt is passed through onto the big flat washer at the top. Here's the rubberized spigot, and here we have the lock nut inside the collar, which with the grooves on it that will obviously bite in to the rubberized piece when you tighten it up. Here on the instructions it actually shows you the kind of thing we're looking at doing. So you put the rubberized spigot into the hole, twist it in so it gives a good firm grip, then you mark it off, and then you basically measure 1 inch between the top mark and at the bottom becomes your new mark, and you cut that off and that is what I've ended up with in this piece here. So really now all it is just a matter of installing this into the stem hole, position it and then tighten it with the Allen wrench. Okay, so the observant of you will have noticed I actually had the large flat washer in, which was way too big for the size of my spigot, so I've just put the smaller washer in there now, and that matches it. As you can see, it does come with several sizes for your collar nut, and also several sizes for the washer as well. So if you have a very large hole in your yoke, obviously the spigot will, as it goes up in size, of course you can fit the different sizes of washers onto it. So okay, we're going to try and pop this in now and tighten it up and see what it looks like. Okay, we're back over at the bike, and here we go. We're going to try and install this. Hopefully my hands won't get too much in the way of the camera. So pushing that down inside the hole of the yoke, and now I'm going to take my 3mm Allen key or Allen wrench and start to tighten this up. Okay, getting a bit more traction here with a pair of pliers. And the whole point of these things is they are rubberized and they are designed to be flexible. So of course, because you want to take out some of that vibration that the motorcycle generates, so you do want it to be able to move around a bit. Obviously not that you want it coming out, but that's in there pretty tight. I'm just going to give it a few more twists. Okay, there it is. Okay, back at the workbench, and we're going to just finish up with this RAM mount for the iPhone. So we've got the spigot all installed on the yoke, etc., and now we are going to take the phone mount itself, which is one of these I got specifically, and they make this specifically for the iPhone 6 and the 6S. Sorry, the 6 Plus, I'm sorry. iPhone 6 Plus and the 6S Plus. So that is the mount for that. It comes with a little bag of screws, and you also need the adapter, which goes on the back of the plate like that, and then obviously that goes on to the ball mount on the bike. So let me quickly screw this in. Looks like these screws come in a couple of different sizes, so let's just see which ones push through onto the lock nut. Looks like I need those longer ones, so a couple of those, push those through, and these are lock nuts. Obviously you don't want these coming undone, so let's tighten that up. I suppose you could put a bit of Loctite screw on it as well if you want to be extra cautious. So I'm just going to go and screw these down. Okay, they're very tight. They're not going anywhere. So that's what we're left with, is the mount with the ball on the back, and it goes away. And then I've got the adapter, which obviously sits on the ball on the bike and on the back of here. So let's get the iPhone in and see what that looks like. Obviously this is designed for to be used without a case, so because it's incredibly tight, as you can see. I'm not sure how long this is going to last. I bet this eventually snaps off, but for now, here it is. Ooh, an infinite picture. So that's how it sits, and let's go and put it on the bike and see what it looks like. Okay, we are back at the bike, and let's pop the adapter on first. give that a gentle tighten. I don't want to tighten it too much, otherwise you won't get the mount in there. And here we go, moment of truth. Just back that off a bit. Really good height. Yeah, I like that. That works really well. It's solid. That's clearly not going to move anywhere. It's got enough give in the rubberization on the balls and the mount, so it's not going to be totally bouncing about. Yeah, I like that. So there you go. There's the navigation sitting right in front on the screen. Looks good. Really like that. So I'm going to put all the links to the products used down below, so if you do want to check them out, just click on the links, and also purchase links as well, so made it nice and easy. If you do want to buy these items, just go ahead, they're all on Amazon. Just click it through and there you go. I like this. Thanks for watching. This has been James, British Operative, with you. Don't forget to check out my other videos and subscribe and comment. Thanks very much. We'll catch you soon.